Hi there everyone, and welcome to a very special edition this week for the first week of the 2019 Big V Finals. VYC men, VYC women and Youth League 1 men are all in post-season action, and Steve Chalmers, Laura McIntosh beside me. We're going to go in depth and have a look at each and every game. We've got 10 games on the cards in terms of the finals this weekend. Going to highlight a couple of key names, some previous results, and throw a tip in there or two.
Yeah, you reckon there's going to be some upsets this weekend?
I am predicting that there will be some upsets thrown about, and I think it's going to be an exciting weekend of basketball. Obviously, VYC men and women have the March Madness style of final setup, where it's literally one-off games, elimination, you lose, you're out, and we go into the grand final for the best of three series, which has only taken place over the last couple of years. But I don't think it bodes well for those who have had seed 1 and 2. There's always that upset or two in the first week of the VYC action. And I'm just looking forward to seeing which teams will bow out as the upset and which team will have their Cinderella story.
Yeah, well, I guess it's interesting you say that. When I look at some of the first and second seeds, I'm like, surely not. But nothing ever is predictable in sport or in this game, as we know. So it will be interesting to see which ones go by the book and which ones trick us up a little bit. Let's
take a look at the first game on the menu. We'll kick off with VYC men. Dandenong first in Terrell, as you can see on your screen there. Kilsyth fourth in Watson. It all takes place 7 p.m. Saturday at the Dandenong Basketball Stadium. Kilsyth actually got the chocolates only a couple of weeks ago, back in round 13 on the road at Dandenong Basketball Stadium by 5. What do you like in this one?
Look, even though it's 1 versus 4, technically, it is a bit of a tough one because I do think that the Watson Conference has been stronger this year. I think Mitchell Dillmans and Luke Rosendale have been so good for Kilsyth all year. If they play, I reckon they could upset Dandenong and get it home.
A little bit of chopping and changing with the Dandenong Rangers roster in the back half of the season. Obviously, they've lost a couple of key players to some college commitments. No Toby Williamson, no Tyler Robertson, no Ryan Rapp, I'm led to believe, obviously heading into the final series and a little bit prior. I think Ollie Hayes-Brown is the key to Dandenong, and looking at Kilsyth, Mitch Dillemans has gone up and down through the senior ranks at NBL 1 level, has been an absolute key in the youth league, and has been a hell of a player over the last number of years for the Kilsyth Cobras in VYC men. I think he plays. They do have a fixture, an NBL 1 fixture in the men, funnily enough, against Dandenong on Saturday night around, I think it's 7:30. So that fixture challenge, I think Kilsyth err on the side of Dillemans plays finals rather than a regular season fixture.
Oh, yeah. You would assume so.
I would assume so. So I think this could be one of the upsets.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. Dandenong obviously had such a strong start to the year. They went, half, 2/3 of the season unbeaten, but since then they have lost a bit of momentum, potentially due to the loss of some troops, as you mentioned. So, yeah.
Don't want to dwell on too many games for too long. Next one, Eltham first in Watson take on Diamond Valley fourth in Terrell. This one happening Sunday at 12 p.m. at the Eltham High School. The Youth League 1 women's game, funnily enough, has been moved to 2 o'clock later that day.
Yes, lovely of the women, obviously accommodating their regular season game for this final. This is a really interesting one with the Eagles actually defeating Eltham last week, final round of the regular season, which was, definitely an upset. So the Wildcats have been the benchmark of the competition for the majority of the season. And for me, this one isn't going to be an upset. I don't think the Wildcats will let the Eagles beat them again.
Christian Yamuni has been huge for Eltham this season. No love lost between these two teams. This is a cracker of a quarterfinal, mind you. Diamond Valley, however, it's been a lot by committee in terms of the offensive production for the Eagles. I think watch out for Aiden Zeverona. Had a real purple patch middle of the year. Lost a little bit. I think he's been looking to find some form again first week of the playoffs. However, I do think they bow out. I think Eltham will be too strong.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yes.
Melbourne tackle Ringwood also on Sunday, same time, the 12 p.m. fixture at MSAC. Melbourne and Ringwood, funnily enough, they had their previous fixture at the Rings, which Melbourne took by 5. What do you see here?
Again, a tricky one because once again, Melbourne have been a bit up and down, same with players in and out, NBL1 commitments and the like, and Melbourne are actually a better team on the road, so I'm not sure how much of a home court advantage this will be. This is one I actually really don't know who to pick, yeah.
Okay. Alex Higgins-Titcher been gone since May for the Tigers. Obviously, he was a player of the month. Earlier on, it may have even been May, for the Melbourne Tigers. Mason Gaze has been filling in his offensive production very, very well since his departure. For Ringwood, Matt Roberts, for me, has been one of the best players in the competition this season. And if he can lead the Chargers, obviously, I think Ringwood made the grand final against Melbourne 2017, I'm led to believe. And obviously, Melbourne got the win that day. But Matt Roberts, I believe, played in that one. Obviously, a bit of changeover through the Hawks roster. But he's been there and done it. So I think if he can lead the troops at Ringwood, they can go on and cause an upset victory.
Yeah, look, the only thing for the Hawks, I guess, is they're on a 5-game losing streak at the moment, and they've lost to some teams they probably shouldn't have. So, look, based on that, we'll just split it, shall we? And I'll say Melbourne.
There you go. The final contest in VYC men sees Nunawading take on Knox, second in Watson against third in Terrell, respectively. This one's on Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. at the Graveyard, Nunawading Basketball Stadium. Nunawading got the Chocolates by 5 points in round 11.
Yeah, look, another really close matchup for me. I'm going to go Nunawading on this one. I just think they're a nice all-around team. There's no real, a massive high scorer week after week. They do it by committee, as one of your favourite sayings. So, yeah, look, for me, and Watson has obviously been, I think, the strongest conference. So I'm going to say Nunawading for this one.
There was a reason why the Spectres went on to make the grand final last year. Obviously, won against Eltham. They're defending champions for a reason. They've brought back a relatively similar team, and the big guns are still there. Dan Baxter, Jack Gandolfo, Remo Semenkevicius. I think they get past Knox reasonably comfortably. It may be a battle in the first half. I think the second half they'll really push away. For Knox, if Cam Bradley finds his 3-point shot in this quarterfinal, that will go a long way to see them going very, very close, if not winning.
Okay, so you're going Knox or Nunawading?
I'm going Nunawading.
Okay.
VYC women now, the first game, Saturday, 6 p.m. at Bendigo Stadium. It's the Braves taking on the Dandenong Rangers. Bendigo first in the Terrell Conference at 17-5 record, and they previously defeated Dandenong by 3 points back in round 11. What do you like here?
Look, I think Bendigo at home are going to be tough to beat. They've been one of the most dominant teams of the season, and at home they're close to unstoppable. So for me, it's the Braves at home.
Hayley Harrington been a big part of Bendigo's successes, although if Jess Mangan and Piper Dunlop get a run, game over for the Dandenong Rangers. So it'll be interesting to see who lines up for the Braves. On the other side of things, Dandenong, Emily Sewell is the latest Victorian to get a scholarship into the Centre of Excellence, so congratulations to her. And I'll tell you what, at the Dandenong Rangers VYC women, there's been a lot of players play games on their roster.
They've had a big list of...
A lot of players playing only a handful of games, so therefore haven't qualified for finals. Yes. So it'll be interesting to see who lines up, what their minutes and their rotations look like, but best of luck to both sides there. I think Bendigo, like yourself, get the Chocolates in that contest. Nunawading, they finished on top of the Watson Conference. They take on Altona. Saturday, 5:30 p.m. That precedes the boys. 18-4 record, the best in the competition in the girls division. And they defeated Altona by 7 in their only matchup this season.
Yeah, and look, I sound like a bit of a broken record, but I know it's a favourite, and you're not thinking that, but I think Nunawading will win this one. I watched them play last week, and they were dominant all over the court. Again, their women's team is also one without too many, massive stars and flashing lights. They're just a solid roster that just seem to gel really well together. And again, the Watson conference is stronger in the women's side of things too. I'm Nunawading for me.
Absolutely. No reliance on any heavy hitters from the Spectres, as you mentioned. That's a big reason why the Nunawading team have the best record in the comp. Jess Rarity will be an interesting one for Altona. They're pretty similar, actually, the Gators. They don't have any reliance on any one particular player or one or two. But if they are to tackle Nunawading head-on, I think it'll be their senior players that will have to step up even another gear to take it up to Nunawading. But I think the Spectres for me as well. Sunday, 10 a.m. sees Melbourne tackle Kilsyth at MSAC. I think there's a simple rule to this one, which I'll get to in a minute. But Melbourne, 42-point winners in their only matchup against Kilsyth earlier on in the season, which was in round 6.
Yeah, that is a huge win. For me, this is my upset game.
Okay. So you're saying they're going to turn the table on a 42-point result a couple of months back.
Yep, and look, I know
that is a big call.
And that's ancient history. No, I know the Tigers have had lots of changing in their roster, so that will really play into this. But for me, this is my upset. The Tigers girls team, another team that play better away from home than at home. And I just think the Kilsyth girls have had a more consistent run throughout the season in terms of less changes in and out of their team. And yeah, it's my upset. I think they've had better form, and I reckon, not that Melbourne aren't hungry, but I reckon they're really hungry. They really want it. I reckon they'll do it.
For Kilsyth, I believe if Maddie Taranto can replicate her game against Dandenong last week, she was 9 of 11 from the field, had 20 points, I think 6 rebounds, a couple of steals as well on the defensive end. That will go a long way for them to compete. But the one rule for me in this contest, if Katie Bugden plays for the Tigers, the home side win.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair call.
Fairly simple to me, and I don't think Kilsyth can turn the tables on a 40-plus point result only a couple of months back. Melbourne for me in that one.
Okay, we can agree to disagree on that one.
The final game in VYC Women this week that we're going to cover, this one's on Saturday night, 6 p.m. at the Rings. Ringwood taking on Southern. Defending champions Sabres finished 3rd in Terrell Conference this year. Ringwood won on the road against the Sabres back in round 9 by 12.
Yeah, okay, this is also an upset for me. The Sabres are obviously going for a 3-peat, which will be very tough. It is incredibly tough in any sport. But, as we've talked about, the top seeds, falling a little bit by the wayside. I think that Ringwood are another team, finally, that plays better away than at home. I'm
a big fan of the road teams.
Yeah, I just think
and now they've been stuck at home.
Yeah, I just think, and the pressure's off the Sabres a bit. I'm going to tip an upset again, and I'm going to go Sabres.
Now, in this case, this is a big chance for Ringwood, just to exercise some old demons, because they've been in this position before where they've finished first and they've gone out. They even lost in a semi-final, which they should have won potentially last year, maybe 2 years ago. They're playing the defending champions, as you mentioned, 2-time defending champions. This is the time they can do it back and give back against the Hawks, because the Hawks will defeat Southern. And they will. Mm-hmm. They've got arguably my MVP in Annabelle Dearborn.
Okay.
To me, she's the MVP of the competition.
She has been great all year.
And I think that they will exercise some demons and defeat Southern Sabres and knock them out of any chance of a 3-peat.
Yeah. Well, look, on paper it looks like that. I don't disagree. I'm just going to go for the upset.
There you go. Yep. Finally, Youth League 1 men. Only 2 games this weekend. Top seed, second seed. You can sit back, take a hike, go on a holiday, because you've got to buy Ballarat and Geelong. Congratulations to you, because you will be facing the winners of these next 2 games. And the first one is Casey taking on Bendigo, Sunday 1:30 at Casey Stadium. It was back in round 15 where the Cavs got the Braves by 16.
Yes. At home, it's tough, because I actually think Casey have finished the season maybe not on as high a note as the Braves did. They had that amazing 2-point win over Ballarat last weekend. Mm-hmm. A big rivalry, obviously, between Bendigo and Ballarat, but then to knock off Ballarat, who's been arguably the team of the competition this year, was a pretty big one. However, I think then going down to Casey are going to be up and about. I think they're going to be too strong. Casey,
Blake Taylor, Brendan Head, they combine, and they combine in a big way. Casey win at home, but you've just got to be prepared, because Bendigo can attack from all different ways. Sam Becks, Taylor Rayner, Jack White, the second best Jack White in country Victoria. Tanner Rayner, did I say?
You said Taylor. Tanner.
I meant Tanner.
Yep.
Sorry, Tanner Rayner. Jack White, the second best Jack White from country Victoria, must I say. Obviously, the one and only Jack White, but I think he's okay with having that accolade.
Oh, yeah.
Kai Daniels, they fire a punch.
Oh, yeah, and look, they're up and about at the moment.
It is very much on, but I tend to agree with you. I think Casey just.
Yeah. It should be a good game, though.
Finally, our last game, Corio Bay 4th taking on Altona, who finished the season in 5th. This one, Saturday at 4 p.m. Geelong Basketball Netball Centre. Round 10 was when Corio defeated Altona at home by 16 points. What do you see here?
Look, For me, Corio Bay have been. We've talked about this in other programs before.
Your buddies, the Corio Bay Stingrays.
I think. Look, it'll be close. I think Corio Bay have been the form team of the past, month or so. The past couple of games haven't quite gone their way, but has been against quality opposition. So for me, I think Corio Bay are going to be up and about and wanting to prove that they deserve a spot in the grand final, which will be tough, but you've got to get one game at a time. But for me, Corio Bay, Jordan O'Leary has been amazing all year. So
I think there was a reason why Corio Bay defeated Altona by double digits in the previous time they met.
Round 10?
It's because they've just got a bit more depth. Obviously, Jordan O'Leary's been leading the way, especially as of late. He's been fantastic, but I just think they can find the 6th, the 7th, the 8th guy coming off the pine, whereas Altona will have a little bit of reliance on the top 2 guys. Obviously, Tyson Burton being very good this season, Samson Rocker as well. I think they'll just run out of puff right near the end. So I'm going to say the Corio Bay Stingrays. You with me there?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm with you
Your
on that
boys, the Corio Bay Stingrays, quite comfortably, according to Laura McIntosh. So there you go, the 10 post-season games previewed. The 2019 Big V season, post-season, has well and truly arrived. So best of luck to all of those teams that we mentioned across the course of tonight's show. We hope to have your company next week where we talk even more in-depth finals.